law enforcement agencies are entrusted with the noble responsibility of safeguarding citizens and upholding justice. However, there are occasions when the actions of a few officers shook the public and eroded trust in the system. In today's video, we're about to expose some jaw-dropping incidents that occurred when cops crossed paths with the formidable FBI. Get ready to have your jaw hit the floor with these stories that'll make you wonder if the system we rely on is really as solid as we think, and discuss how the stupid cop didn't realize the suspect is an FBI agent. So, with no more delay, let's jump right into the action. Case number 1. Once upon a sunny day in a little Florida town, Deputy Gordon got a call that would totally shake up his world as a law enforcer. The voice on the other end claimed to be an FBI bigshot who wanted to meet him. Deputy Gordon couldn't help but feel suspicious, but he felt it was his duty to go. Little did he know that this meeting would turn everything he knew upside down. When Deputy Gordon reached the meeting spot, he was surprised when the person asked him to turn off his body camera. Why would an FBI person want that? Doubts raced through his mind, making him question if this guy was really who he said he was. But surprise, surprise, it was indeed Special FBI Agent Alexis Haddon. Agent Haddon was on a top-secret mission investigating corruption in law enforcement in North Florida. Agent Haddon tried to prove his identity, but Deputy Gordon just couldn't shake his suspicions. He kept bombarding the agent with questions, driven by his disbelief. The doubts in his mind made him call for backup and even handcuff Agent Haddon. The situation got intense inside a hot car, and Agent Haddon's health started to suffer. Deputy Gordon's action turned everything into a mess with some serious consequences. It was a hard lesson that taught him the dangers of not trusting and making snap judgments. But luckily, the truth came out in the end. Captain Webb called to confirm that Agent Haddon was indeed a real FBI agent. Deputy Gordon felt terrible and apologized profusely. To avoid more misunderstandings and protect the reputation of law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office and the FBI promised to always be honest and keep the lines of communication open in future operations. Secondly, let's shift our attention to the heartland of America, Kansas. Our second case exposes the reign of terror orchestrated by a police detective and the devastating consequences it had on innocent lives. In September 2022, the FBI uncovered a troubling case in the Kansas Police Department. This video reveals the shocking truth about Roger Golubski, a former detective who terrorized black women for over 2 decades. As the quest for justice begins, we explore the urgent need for changes in law enforcement. During their investigation, the FBI discovered Golubski's dark past. For 35 years, he committed horrible acts, targeting black women and misusing his power for personal gain. And all this raised one big question. How did he manage to avoid capture for so long? Well, Golubski faced trial, denying his guilt, but the FBI was determined to hold him accountable for his actions. Despite his health problems, the court denied his request for release, ensuring justice for his victims. As the case unfolded, Golubski's corruption became even clearer. One victim, Lamont McIntyre, suffered unjustly as Golubski wrongly testified against him for a crime he didn't commit. McIntyre spent 24 years in prison, highlighting the need to reevaluate trust in the Kansas Police Department. Golubski's misconduct only scratched the surface of the problems within the police department. He exploited vulnerable women, including sex workers, for his own purposes. The suspicious death of an informant named Rhonda Tribute raised concerns, but the investigation failed to provide answers, exposing more flaws in the department. In response to Golubski's crimes and the need for change, the FBI launched a major investigation into the Kansas Police Department. People demanded answers and justice. This case sparked a national conversation about the importance of transparency and accountability. Golubski's arrest is a significant step in the fight against corruption in law enforcement. It reminds us of the need for a fair and trustworthy justice system. The FBI's investigation offers hope to the victims, activists, and those seeking a better future for law enforcement. Now, let's delve into the darkest corners of the Drug Enforcement Administration, or the DEA. Our final case uncovers a betrayal within the ranks, where officers entrusted with combating drug trafficking transformed into criminals themselves. In a world where law enforcement agencies tirelessly battle against the drug epidemic, the recent revelation of 2 DEA officers engaging in illicit activities has sent shockwaves through the nation. It was March 2023 when the FBI nabbed two DEA officers, James Hickox and Joshua Erie. These officers, whose job was to protect us from the drug epidemic, got caught up in a mess of deceit and corruption. Let's unravel this extraordinary tale of misplaced trust and the unsettling question it raises about the integrity of law enforcement. Although both Hickox and Erie was arrested on the same day, their criminal activities were separate. Sergeant James Hickox, responsible for his own territory, was busted for having drugs with the intention to sell. Can you believe it? He was actually peddling cocaine and other substances on a regular basis. Meanwhile, Highway Patrol Trooper Joshua Erie faced charges not only for using drugs himself, but also for having illegal firearms. And get this, he even had 43 illegal prescriptions for highly addictive substances like oxycodone and morphine. How did these officers, sworn to uphold the law, get tangled up in such corruption? The FBI started investigating James Hickox after a tip-off from a reliable source. It turns out he was swiping a part of the confiscated drugs for his personal gain, and to cover it up, he replaced them with other powdery substances. When authorities found 3 shoeboxes packed with $100,000 in cash hidden in his bedroom closet, their jaws dropped. And that wasn't all. Another $200,000 was stashed away in his garage. To top it off, they discovered $86,000 in cash deposits spread across different bank accounts linked to Hickox, his wife, and even his child. He claims his wealth came from gambling and loans, but something fishy was definitely going on. Joshua Erie's misdeeds were even more outrageous. Not only was he using drugs seized during traffic stops, but he was also boldly buying drugs from notorious traffickers. Can you believe it? He had become the very criminal he was supposed to catch. And as if that wasn't enough, he authorized 43 illegal prescriptions for oxycodone. The FBI exposed this shocking betrayal when their undercover informant posed as a drug dealer. Talk about a breach of duty and responsibility. The FBI's revelation sent shockwaves through the DEA and other law enforcement agencies involved. Internal investigations were launched within the DEA, Nassau County Sheriff's Office, and the Florida Highway Patrol to uncover any more corruption. The discovery of large sums of cash made authorities believe that there might be more bad apples in their ranks. The truth must be uncovered, and those responsible must face the music. The downfall of James Hickox and Joshua Erie has shaken the DEA to its core, undermining the trust the public had placed in them. This disheartening episode raises a troubling question. How many more of those tasked with protecting society might have hidden motives? But amidst these tales of darkness, we must remember the countless brave officers who remain committed to upholding justice. They restore our faith in law enforcement with their unwavering dedication to keeping our communities safe. These cases remind us that fighting corruption requires a joint effort between citizens and law enforcement agencies, where transparency and accountability take center stage. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking revelations. Until next time, take care.